So let's talk a little bit about consistency. What does it mean to stay consistent, and how do we stay consistent in everything that we do? Because, a lot of people start off with a lot of motivation in the system, the adrenaline's pumping. Oh, yeah. They stay consistent for about a week and then they give up. My friend, that is not true consistency. So in today's video, I am going to be discussing 3 key strategies that you can use to stay consistent in absolutely anything that you put your mind to. So if you're interested in improving your consistency, I recommend you watch this video to the very end. And most importantly, the most important thing that you have to do today, the thing that you have to be most consistent at, is subscribing to this channel, and make sure you turn on the post notifications as well so that you don't miss one of these amazing videos that I drop. Let's go. Now, when it comes to staying consistent, a mistake that most people make is that they do not segment their goals. They do not break their goals down into segments. And this is essential. You can't, for example, say that, okay, my goal this week is to make $10 million. I mean, that would be fantastic if you can, obviously. But to most people, that is not a realistic goal. That is not a realistic goal. That goal needs to be broken down into smaller segments. For example, you can start off by saying, okay, this week I'm going to make $500. Next week, I'm planning to make $1,000. With whatever the business venture is that you're engaging in, whatever the strategy is that you're using, that is, kind of irrelevant. But you have to be realistic about those goals that you're achieving. And we're not only talking in terms of money goals. For example, let's say you start a YouTube channel. Let's say your goal in the first week is to gain 20 subscribers. That is a realistic goal. But if you say something like your goal is to gain 1 million subscribers in a week, although it's certainly possible by some miraculous miracle, it is not realistic to most people. So goal segmentation is the point here that I'm trying to make. Break your goals down into smaller segments. Break your bigger goals down into smaller goals. Start with daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, 5-year goals, 10-year goals, and eventually more longer term goals. But the key is separate them, break them down into smaller parts. Not only will that make them more achievable, but that will kind of, spur you on to be more consistent at the grind, right? Because once you tick off these small daily goals, you feel like you'll achieve something, and then you'll be consistent in your effort, you'll be consistent in your discipline, you'll be consistent in your levels of motivation, and everything will just be as positive as it can be around you. Right, point number 2 when it comes to staying consistent at absolutely anything that you put your mind to is going to be daily planning. Detailed daily planning is the keyword. The keyword here is detailed. So how are you planning to spend each hour of your day? Now, some people might turn to this and say, well, that's a bit unrealistic. Life happens. Sometimes we have to do things that we are not prepared for. Sometimes things happen that we are not anticipating.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
I get that, and that is something that you cannot avoid. But when the times are in your control and when you really have a day at your disposal, you need to be telling yourself, okay, I'm going to get up, let's say at 6 a.m. I'm going to be exercising for an hour till 8 a.m. From 8 till 8:30, I have breakfast. Then from 9 to 11, I'm working on whatever it is I'm working on currently. Then I'm taking a break. You see what I mean? So it's almost like a daily schedule, but you have to be willing to put some effort and put some detail into it, because otherwise you can just end up floating around. Have you ever woken up, right, and you have all of these important things to do, yet you completely neglect them? And most of the time that is due to you not having a list of priorities, not setting your time aside to really tell you how much time you're going to devote to each activity that you need to get done. That is why most people kind of just procrastinate and kind of just lay around, because they know they have all of these things to do. They know they're supposed to improve their lives, but what do they do instead? They binge Netflix. They lay around the house, right? Instead of working towards something better. And this, 99% of the time, a great cause, a very important cause of this is this lack of detailed planning throughout the day. So even if you write it down for yourself in your ugly handwriting, whatever it is, but write it down for yourself, right? Tell yourself, I'm going to get up at this time. I'm going to do this. I'm going to eat breakfast, take a break. I'm going to work this time to this time. And you know what? If something happens and messes up the schedule, it is what it is. But try to follow it to the best of your abilities. So daily detailed planning are the keywords for point number 2. Alright, guys. Alright, guys. So, the last point today, and the last thing that you can use to stay consistent at absolutely everything that you do, is evaluation of your progress. A lot of people, they work, they achieve all of these things, but they fail to look back on what they've achieved. They fail to evaluate the efficacy and the efficiency of their efforts, right? How efficient have you been today? Did you use your time wisely? Did you get everything done that you were planning to get done? And the things that you did not get done, why? What is the reason behind that? Could you have done them? Could you have used your time better and gotten them done as well? You have to be willing to evaluate your performance, I say. Evaluate your performance on a daily, a weekly, and a monthly time frame to make sure that you really keep yourself on your toes, so to speak, right? Instead of, it's almost like having a personal trainer or a coach that's cheering you on. That personal trainer tracks your progress, tracks your weight loss, tracks your muscle building efforts. And just like that personal trainer tracks your muscle building efforts, in your pursuit of goals, you have to be willing to track your progress. You have to be willing to see how much you've progressed over a certain time span. So make sure you evaluate your goals. Make sure you have a to-do list in front of you at the end of the day and tick that off. The things that you did not get done, right next to them. Why didn't I get these things done? Give yourself a few reasons, work on those reasons. But the key is evaluation. Evaluate yourself to keep yourself on your toes. If you have not yet gone and followed me on social media, make sure you do so. My links are down below. And also make sure you subscribe to the channel and you share these videos as far and wide as possible. It really helps me out immensely. I appreciate you watching. Let me know what topics you would like me to discuss in the next video. I'll be seeing you next time.